Who is your favorite emotion in the movie and why?
Well, they all have appeal for different reasons. I like anger because he was fun, just to watch him explode. And the guy who did the voice, this guy named Lewis Black, he is hilarious. So he was really fun to work with. They're all great for different reasons, though. I love sadness, too. Phyllis Smith, who did the voice, and our designers, this guy named Alp. See, the thing is with our characters, we don't get to cast them. Like in movies with real people, you get an actor and you say, okay, I want you to play this part. In our movies, we have to build them. We have to create these characters from scratch. And so we have this amazing team of people who design our actors. And that's a fun but very challenging part as well.
Is there anything in this movie that reminds you of your own life?
A lot. Yeah. Have you guys ever heard this thing, like if you're writing a paper or something, people say, write what you know. Have you heard that saying? Yeah, and I was always like, yeah, but my life is boring. I don't want to write about growing up in Minnesota. That's where I was from. And yet I can put some of that stuff into this movie of like being transported from one place to another, having to deal with, and the dinner scene. You remember the scene where everybody's dad's kind of not paying attention? That may or may not be based on real life. So there's a lot of things of our own selves that we put into the film, for sure.
That's great. How long did it take to create, then make the emotions?
I started when you guys were 4 years old. So it's 5 years, this movie. Wait, did you say you're 10 or 11? I'm not very good with math, so I'll just say it took 5 years.
5 years. That's a long time. Yeah. And how did you choose the voices of the characters?
Well, some of them, like Anger, I had seen Lewis Black on The Daily Show, which and he's funny. Other ones, different people. We have a group of 2 folks at Pixar that their job, one of their jobs is casting. So they just watch tons of movies and television, and they just come with a big list of other actors. They say, hey, listen to this guy, listen to that guy. The interesting thing for animation is what we do is we listen to their voices, but we don't watch the picture. So sometimes what somebody sounds like is very different than the way they come off when you see them. And so we're listening for actors who can really do something with their voice. They have to paint a picture and create a whole performance in your head. So that's a very specific talent that not all actors do. A lot of actors rely heavily on their body and their face. And of course we don't have, that's the part we're gonna make. So for our actors, we want people that are really great with their voice.
How many people did it take to make the movie?
Well, you can see, right? 1, 2, 3. It was about, actually people who worked on the film, it was about 270 people. And then a lot of those folks that we're going through here work at the company and make software or run the kitchen to feed us. And so we like to credit everybody who helped. But the people who actually worked directly on the film, it was about 270.
Okay, this is a pretty interesting question. How come when it shows other people's emotions, they're the same gender as the person, but Riley's are both male and female?
Yeah, that's a good question. It was really because we wanted to make sure people knew where we were. So we have that dinner scene, for example. I think there's 18 characters and 4 sets, and so you're cutting like this from one place to another. And so at first when we tried to make them all different, it was really confusing. You're kind of like, wait, where am I now? Oh, I'm in, but by that time the movie has gone on and you're just confused. So we just went very simple. We made all of Dad's emotions with a mustache, and all the moms have the glasses and the hair, and so you can instantly, right away, tell where you are. So it was really just for clarity and therefore comedy.
And how come Joy is the only one that glows?
Well, if you see the other guys in the dark, they actually glow just a little bit. Sadness has a very slight glow, but Joy is the most excited, the most passionate, so she glows the most. And you also might notice they're made up of these little tiny particles, right? almost look like atoms or something. They kind of move around. That was we were trying to make the characters look the way our emotions feel to us. So that's what that was all about.
And why does she hate broccoli?
Who here likes broccoli? Okay.
Oh my
okay,
God,
now,
that's quite
now,
a lot of you.
Who does not like broccoli? Okay. So I think what we were thinking was more people probably don't like broccoli than most other foods. Like there's probably some people that don't like, say, cauliflower or grapefruit or something like that. But broccoli is kind of iconic. And plus, it sort of looks like the character, if you'll notice. She has kind of same shape as Disgust. So that was all kind of on purpose.
Yeah, and that's a follow-up question. Why is Disgust a diva if she's broccoli and gross?
For a long time, we were wondering, should we make Disgust disgusting or disgusted? Like, should she be gross to look at and kind of like, lumpy and stuff? Or, and then we thought, well, I don't really want to look at her then. So we thought it would be really funny if she recognizes what's gross. What the interesting thing, so if you read, actually, do you guys know Charles Darwin? Not personally, I mean, but you're familiar with his work? Yeah. He's most famous, of course, for evolution, but he did a lot of study on expression and emotions. And he figured out that disgust, probably, like if you feed something yucky to a baby, you know how they go, and they spit it out? That's the same face we make when we eat something disgusting or when we see something disgusting. We don't taste it, but we still make that, kind of like, I want to push it out of my face. And so that expression really was what drove kind of the character design. Was we needed to make sure she could be very judgmental and make sure she is going to keep Riley pure. Nothing gross or wrong is going to come near Riley. That's her job. Every one of the emotions has a job. And they want to make sure that Riley's safe. And that's for all of us, too. Our emotions all have jobs and reasons that they're there.
And why did you call the movie Inside Out?
We had a lot of meetings about what to call the movie. It took a long time. But we wanted some title that would tell you a little bit about what you're going to see. So, Up doesn't tell you anything at all about the movie, but it's kind of evocative and interesting and makes you go, what's that? I want to check that out. Inside Out, we decided, well, if we kind of hint at the subject matter of inside the head and outside and what's going on back and forth, that's what's exciting about the movie. And we thought that might help communicate to people what the movie was about.
And what inspired you to become a director?
I kind of became a director by accident. I liked, when I was your guys' age, I would make flip books, like in the corner of my math book. And then when I got in trouble for writing in my math book, I started making them on little Post-it note cards. And you make a little drawing, you flip a page, make it a little bit different than the last one, and so on and so on. And then when you flip through it, it looks like it's moving, it's alive. Have you guys ever done that? It's so cool, I love that. And that's what got me hooked in animation. So I got into this because I wanted to create that illusion of movement and life. And then I realized, well, that's all cool, but unless you have a good story, nobody really cares. You could spend hours doing this animation that's really killer, but it's all about the storytelling. And that's what got me into directing.
And is there going to be an Inside Out 2? Are you going to make a sequel?
I don't know. Are you guys interested in that? Oh. Well, so far our philosophy has been if there's something really cool, some idea that we just think, yeah, I can't get that out of my head, then maybe we'll chase it down. So far, right now I'm working on a new film, some new idea that I can't even talk to you about because it's secret.
What's it called?
No, it doesn't have a name yet.
Okay.
So that's what I'm doing. No, it's not Monsters 3. No.
And the last question, what is the difference between acting and voice acting?
Oh, that's a good question. I always think of voice acting as acting. It's very similar. It's just that instead of, if you think of, like, when you're acting, your job is not to say words. Your job is to be emotional. You're trying to express some feeling that you have down inside you. You can do that with your body, the movement of your body. You know how when you get mad, you move more and staccato and so on, and you can do that with your face, or you can do it with your voice. And so an actor who specializes in voice acting really has a great range and very expressive, like pipes, I guess we call them, the ability to put these emotions across using just their voice. And so, like we talked about earlier, that's what we're really looking for when it comes to casting.
Well, everybody, please give a warm round of applause for Pete. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.